Hello, everyone. We're back here for season 4 of Not Even Nominated with John DiLeo. Hi, John. How have
Hey
you been?
Nick, how you doing? Yeah, we're back. We're talking about Not Even Nominated, my book, my Oscars book, subtitled "40 Overlooked Co-Stars of Oscar-Winning Performances." So somebody in these movies won the Oscar, and then there's somebody else who is just as deserving or more deserving who wasn't even nominated.
Well, who got ripped off this time that you're going to tell us about?
Well, we're starting off with a bang. Where it's at the very first Academy Awards ceremony
Wow.
when Janet Gaynor won the Oscar
What
for
year?
it was seasonal at the time, 1927, 28.
Oh,
So
boy.
say the second half of 27, the first half of 28, like a Broadway season at the
Mm-hmm.
time. And Janet Gaynor won for three movies, one of which was Sunrise, directed by the great German director F.W. Murnau. Now, her leading man, who wasn't nominated, was George O'Brien. And this one's particularly interesting because he's the star of the movie. It's his story. She has the wife role, and she's lovely and delicate. But it's really the story of this man's unraveling and then his sort of redemption. And so it's a very basic plot of a love triangle, a supposedly happily married man whose life is totally disrupted by a temptress from the big city, played by Margaret Livingston, who is irresistible to him, and he upends his entire life, plots to kill his wife. Then, when he has second thoughts, but she already knows he wants to kill her because he almost does it and then pulls back, and then spends the rest of the movie trying to win her back and realizing that he was sort of under a feverish spell. And then, of course, the woman returns, the temptress. And so the plot is very basic, but the way it is made is so beautiful, it's so haunting, it's so gorgeous that it's elevated. And it's a silent movie, and this is sort of at the tail end of the silent era when things are so rapturously beautiful. The storytelling is so sophisticated, you barely need title cards. They're there, but the storytelling is so, like I said, sophisticated, so beautiful. It's like watching someone's dream. Interesting because Murnau, like I said, he was a German director who made his international name, particularly with a movie called The Last Laugh in 1924. But Sunrise, one of his American films, is considered his masterpiece. And he died young in a car accident at age 42. So there would have been many, many great films
Mm-hmm.
from Murnau. And George O'Brien, like I said, it's almost like watching a pantomime because he's this brooding man in the first part. He can't control his infatuation with this woman, but the guilt is tearing him apart. But it doesn't matter. He can't stop it. And he resorts to near murder. And then he's kind of this boyish guy trying to get back to who he used to be. And so it's a very physical performance, as silent movies often had to be, especially because you're not talking. Um, and wonderful as he is, I mean, he became a star in John Ford's Western The Iron Horse in 1924. But with talkies, he was soon relegated to B Westerns, although John Ford kept him employed even into the 60s, occasionally giving him small roles and things. So his career is really based on primarily on this one film, and he should have been nominated.
Okay. And this is rare because it's a silent movie.
Well, rare to most people because a lot of people, even if they love old movies, they think of the 30s and 40s as old movies. But if you take one step back into the silent era, particularly the end of the silent era, and there are many great films that a mass audience who's interested in film would appreciate and think, wow, I didn't realize how wonderful these movies were. And there was so much more than just the wonderful Keystone Cops and that kind of thing.
That's good to know because I didn't even know there were Oscars for for silent
It,
movies.
it
So
wasn't
I
long
appreciate the
because
info.
27's the year of the jazz singer too. So it actually kind of starts with basically the sort of end of the silent era. And by the third year of the Oscars, there are no more silent movies included. There are no more silent movies.
Thanks very much, John. Very enlightening as usual.
Thanks, Nick.